Welcome back to jeemanTV. Today we have Chris Chitaroni with us. Hi Chris, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So you're going to talk about a little bit about stock footage. So can you tell people what is stock footage?
Stock footage, or more accurately, micro stock footage, is an industry that's popped up online in the last 10, 15 years that allows you as a creator to license footage for advertisements, for short films, for feature films, really, for a reasonable rate.
So you have your business, right? Video production business called Skyworking Production.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get into video production? Like, how did that start?
When I was a kid, I used to shoot BMX and skateboard videos. And then when I was in university studying archaeology, I ended up doing a couple of training videos for a local hospital. And then I just kind of rolled it out from there, doing a lot of corporate work and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so you never stayed in archaeology? Did you work in archaeology or?
It's top secret. I can't talk about it.
All right. That's good. And then you jumped into stock footage. What made you jump into that?
Shortly before I started working at CBC, where I met Jer, I was looking for ways to make money online, and I realized that I had a huge library of BMX and skateboard footage that I thought was valuable, and turns out it was. So.
Mm-hmm. And was this profitable at the beginning? How long did it take you to make that profitable?
It took time to ramp up. Absolutely. I think the first time I uploaded anything was in 2009. Okay. And I didn't see my first sale for 6 months. And then I think it was another 6 months after that before I realized, hey, wait a second, I should probably be doing a lot more of this and really pushing it. And
so it took a good year before you decided to push it and bring it to the next level. Yeah. And what do you think it is what's the next level when you start stock footage? Like, do you upload like every month? Do you upload every day? Like what's the best way to do it?
It's tough to measure it that way because you don't always have stuff to shoot. So it's really just a matter of being mindful of when there's things going on that you think are worth shooting and worth uploading and worth tagging, because obviously that takes a lot of time and you don't want to waste your time on stuff that isn't valuable.
Mm-hmm. And so what would you tell people that want to get started in stock footage? How should they start?
Well, I mean, it's tough now because in 2009 when I started, there was nobody doing it. You got to remember, 2009, nobody had cameras. Now you've got a 4K amazing camera in your pocket on your phone. Everybody has it. So competition's really hard now. I mean, if you're already a media professional and you're shooting every day and you're shooting really cool stuff, that's where I would recommend getting into stock footage, because you might actually find a niche. You might be able to make it work. If you're just a camera enthusiast, it's very unlikely that it's going to be worth your time. Not anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I guess you need to make good footage that's worth buying, right?
Yeah, I mean, like when people generally think stock footage, the first thing that comes to mind is sunsets and fields of crops and waterfalls. That stuff will never sell. There's millions of those clips because it's the first thing that comes to people's mind. You've got to be shooting unique things and shooting it well in order to make any money at it now.
So I don't know if you can tell us, but like, what is your best month in stock footage and sales? Like, what does that look like?
Well, I don't divulge my exact numbers, but I mean, I've worked in the video industry for almost 15 years now, and my best month in stock was way more than I've ever made in a month at a regular video job. Way more.
Yeah. So stock footage is worth it. Just as an idea for sure. So how long have you run your business, video production business for now?
Skyworking Productions technically began in 2002.
So it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
And so let's talk about that a little bit. How did you manage to start that? How did you so you started it, you didn't start it full time, I guess. You started
No, I was in university when I started it. It was just a way to, pay for nights out drinking.
Good way to do it.
That's it. I had some contacts where I'm from in Sudbury at the local hospital, and they wanted a training video done, and I ended up doing that, and that kind of snowballed into some other stuff. And I did it part-time for about 10 years, and then I just kind of decided to put 100% in and
What happened? What happened in your life for you to say, okay, I'm just gonna jump into this full time?
Well, I was working at CBC on a contract basis, and you know, it's stressful waiting every time a contract came up, hoping will I get another contract?
Mm-hmm.
And
For sure.
you can't bank on it. So I just decided that you know I just stepped down to a casual part time. I kept working there for a few months, but I got so busy with other clients that it became unfeasible to keep working in TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good. And yeah, what would you tell people? Would you push people to work on their own business or work for a crown corporation or something like that? Like, what's the best? Like, you've done both. You worked at CBC Crown Corporation, and then you did your own business. Do you like this better?
Well, I mean, for me, I like it better, but everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
Having your own business is great because you know you have control over your hours, you can have control over the type of work you do, but at the same time, like there's no guarantee that there's any work next month. There's no benefits, and you know I have a family, so I have to worry about you know am I going to be able to pay for my kids' braces and school and all this other stuff if you know work dries up. So I like the challenge, but I know a lot of my friends can't imagine working in these conditions, and they love the fact that they have a regular paycheck and regular benefits and vacation. Vacation's fantastic. I haven't had that in 10 years, but yeah, I mean, I love it. It's just what works for you.
It's a different pace. Like you have to adapt to it and always push your business.
And it wouldn't be possible if I didn't love what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I had to be this on all the time to do something I didn't enjoy, I would burn out in a second.
Yeah, you have to be pretty passionate to do something more than full time, right? Like
exactly.
All the time.
I never feel like I'm working, so that's the key.
That's
right?
the key. Exactly. So now that you have a kid, like, is it a little bit harder to manage a business, or is it still pretty good? Or?
I mean, he's only 4 months old, so it's hard to gauge.
I would know, yeah.
It's hard to gauge. I mean, obviously, I can't just work until 2 a.m. every night because that's generally when he wakes up. But yeah, I imagine it's going to be a lot harder, but I mean, it's rewarding. So,
well, that's good. What do you think about social media? The social, because you grew up and social media appeared, and you know, is that helping your business a lot? Do you use it often, or do you not?
I don't use social media at all. I generally get all my work through word of mouth,
which is really good to have.
Well, I mean, what I've noticed is friends of mine who have advertised on social media and really push on social media, you end up getting the kind of clients that you don't necessarily want, especially in the video business. You get people who want the best deal. They want
everything, but they don't want to pay for it.
Exactly. And they have unrealistic expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas generally through word of mouth, if say, for example, I get a call from a friend and say, I've got a friend who's looking to do a video, they've kind of vetted those people, and they wouldn't recommend someone to me that they themselves wouldn't work for or don't believe in.
Yeah, because they know about your cost, and they wouldn't say like, oh yeah, go to this guy, he's going to charge you $200. So it's like, that's not going to happen, right?
Exactly. So it's, I mean, I've thought about advertising on social media before. I honestly don't have time.
Yeah.
I'm too busy.
What's next for your business? Like, do you have a plan to expand? Where are you going with this?
I mean, I enjoy running a sole proprietorship, so I don't plan on hiring employees anytime soon or expanding in that way. But we do want to shift our focus a little bit in the future. I do believe that VR is going to be a huge technology in the coming years, and I really do want to be at the forefront of that. And we've already started doing research and development on that type of product, and it's just a matter of
there's some interesting stuff with 360 cameras, VR. It's hard to say where it's gonna go, but it's definitely going somewhere. Like, I know this company, they have a whole they have an online world. So basically, all the associates can go on the world online, which is all just you have your own avatar. It's like a game. Yeah. And you have your little office that's animated, and you can go to a meeting, but it's all online. Mm-hmm. So, you know, with VR, that could be the next thing. You work from home, but you can go see somebody in their office virtually and stuff like that, right? Exactly.
So there's a lot of stuff happening in that space. It's just a matter of the technology has to catch up. It has to. Right now, in order to run VR, you need a $3,000 computer and a $600 headset. Yeah. They need to get it down to a $300 headset that runs on your phone.
Yeah.
And as soon as they do, that's when VR will take off.
That's gonna be huge. What's next for stock footage? Do you see that moving along, or like we saw I guess stock footage has changed a lot because now everybody has a 4K camera, and it's getting saturated a little bit, I think. Right, so I don't know where that's going.
It's tough to say. I mean, the industry had a bit of a slump this year, which was unfortunate. It was the first year I've ever had a decline in sales over the previous year, and I really expect 2020 will continue in that same trend. I think it's had its glory day, and that's one of the reasons why we're looking around to doing stuff with VR and emerging technologies.
Yeah, and then is there stock footage right now for for VR for 360?
Yeah. I mean, you can buy that. Pond 5 has a big collection of them. It's just a matter of there's not many people buying that kind of stuff, because at this point there's not a lot of third party. Not even third party, but like the way that there's people making videos, buying your stock footage for ads. You don't have that in VR yet. Most of the stuff that's being created for VR is being created from the ground up. Yeah.
So it's hard to see where that's going. We have a little bit more time. Let's just talk about the new light kit you got. You want to tell us about that? Because that's so we have one of the lights behind us. What was the name of that light kit?
Quasar Science.
Yeah. So I think these are pretty amazing. So what do you think about those? Like, you've tested those a little bit?
Yeah, I played around with them. They're great. I mean, the color balance is fantastic. The fact that they have batteries built in and they're super portable.
Yeah, they're basically small tubes, just like that one, but they're smaller size, portable, and I guess they change colors also. They're bicolor.
This one does.
The other ones, they're just bicolor.
Yeah.
This one changes the full spectrum.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're pretty cool lights. I'm going to look into those. Sure. I'm just going to steal those from you later. So,
you're welcome to borrow them.
That's the plan. All right, I think this is it for today. Chris, do you have anything to add on?
That's it, man.
All right. Thanks for joining G-Man today, and we'll see you next time.